Nabucco. Come on. Here, come on. Want to come up here by me? Come on. Oh! Oh! Here. Come up here. Allie, come on up here. Good boy. Come on. Come on up here. Come on. That's a good boy. Sit down. Oh! Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, geez. All right. Come on. God. Hi, everyone. Oh, and welcome to the Pup Mommy, where it's all about the pups. They come first. As I share with you my over 30 years of experience, practical hands-on experience of what it's like to own, care for, and love dogs. Now, in this video, I'm going to introduce you to my German Shepherds, both past and present, and tell you what I've learned in loving and caring for them to help you decide if this magnificent breed is right for you and your family at this point in your life. So let's get started. You know, if you're a regular YouTube or Instagram aficionado, you're well aware of the countless numbers of videos out there featuring German Shepherds, or rather gorgeous German Shepherds. I know because I'm a sucker for them. And shepherds on camping trips, shepherds roaming across the fields, shepherds playing with children, shepherds this, shepherds that. But you know, this video is not to discourage you from owning this magnificent breed. It's rather to inform you so that you know exactly what you're getting into if you're thinking or deciding about whether to purchase or adopt a German Shepherd. And this is coming from someone who will tell you about the day-to-day stuff you don't normally see in some of these wonderful videos. But really, is a German Shepherd right for you? Well, let me use Nabucco here. I hope you can see him. Can you see? Yep, I hope you can see him. Let me use Nabucco as a case point to illustrate. Now, I had gotten Nabucco on Friday the 13th of March last year, and he was 9 months old. And I got him through word of mouth from a contractor I hired to repair my deck. He held up his phone one day when he was through, and there he showed me a photo of Nabucco. And he said to me, you know, I have a client who owns a pet store, and he had a customer walk in one day asking if he knew anyone who would adopt his German Shepherd puppy, because the landlord said he had to get rid of it because it was too big. Now, why am I using Nabucco as an example? Well, it's because I learned from the paperwork that was left with me that I was going to be Nabucco's 4th owner in 7 months. He was originally purchased by a woman for $3,500 in Wisconsin. She lives in Wisconsin. Then at some point in time, she sold the dog, or the puppy, to another owner who lived in Indiana. And this owner knew the owner who sold the dog to me. Now, Nabucco's story, to me, is a classic case in point of when people get in over their heads and they don't know anything about dogs, let alone German Shepherds. They see a cute puppy, and I'm biased, I will admit it, because to me there is nothing cuter than a German Shepherd puppy. And then 16 weeks later, 6 months later, the puppy's not so cute anymore because it's growing and it's a ton of work. Now, if you are thinking about adopting a puppy, I urge you to check out my video series, To Puppy or Not to Puppy, which will take you through 8 questions to help you determine if you're really ready for a puppy. So, back to German Shepherds. Are you a potential German Shepherd owner? Well, let me take you through some of the key factors in owning and caring for one. Factor number 1, size. Now, when you consider adopting or purchasing a German Shepherd, you only see a small little fluffball puppy. And do you really consider that that fluff ball will grow into a dog that stands over 2 feet in height, which is thigh high, so that you can easily reach down and touch the dog without bending over. Now, if you're of average height, now I'm 5'7" for reference, and that's certainly something I can do. And then next, the German Shepherd is going to be, according to breed standard, somewhere between 65, 75 pounds for a female, or roughly 80 pounds or so for a male. I will say this, my German Shepherds, my two girls, Olympia and Zarina, they were both 90-pounders, and in their prime. And according to the vet that I've had who looked after them for over 20 years, both of them looked beautiful, they carried their weight well, they were active, they were not overweight. Now, my Nabucco is roughly 82 pounds. Ophelia is around 79 pounds. I know that because I just had her at the vet. But stop and consider for a moment. If your dog falls ill and you have to lift it into the car, will you be able to? With my girls, toward the ends of their lives, when they were about 11, 12 years old, they had lost some weight, but they were still in the 75-pound range. And so when I had to get them into an SUV, my SUV, it basically, even though I had a harness, you still had to hoist 75 pounds into the back of that SUV. So bottom line, folks, between their weight and their height and the volume that they are going to take up in your home as you move around a thigh-high body block, are you ready for a Shepherd that can actually weigh more than your snowblower or about the same as your lazy boy recliner? So think about that. Now, factor number 2, shedding. How much of a neatnik are you? Are you willing to put up with dog hair? How much dog hair? Can I tell you about my Dyson, my clog Dyson, and let me tell you that Dyson is no match for my dog hair. And how much dog hair is too much dog hair? Are you into vacuuming twice a day? Are you into laundering chair covers, furniture covers, and bedding once a week or more? Now, even with a Furminator, and I'll leave the link for this little tool below in the description, you're still going to have fur and fuzzballs throughout your house on a daily basis. And what about your car? If you have, like my SUV, if you don't have cushion covers and seat covers, it could look like my car. But, by the way, it is cleaned by me. No longer looks like that. And third factor now we have is the cost of ownership. Now, big dogs cost more, from health costs like flea and tick medication, spay, neuter, grooming costs, monthly food costs, treats, to bedding, harnesses, collars, toys. And with Shepherds, it's so important to feed them good quality food because of their activity level and because of their need for good solid joint health through the years. Now, I currently feed the brand dog food called From, and that food is about $84 a bag for 30 pounds. And I go through 2 bags a month, so do the math. And because I have persnickety eaters, I also go through about 2 cases of canned food a month, and that's about $40 a case. So figure that, about a yearly cost, that's about another $1,000. Plus, I feed them Cosequin MSM for joint health. I also include another supplement called NutraThrive, which is probiotics and additional vitamins and supplements. So I'm averaging roughly $3,500 a year to feed 2 German Shepherds, and that's roughly about $1,750 a dog. So that's part of the cost of ownership, that's part of the cost of food, but also keep in mind that if you decide you want pet insurance, that's going to be an additional cost. Keep in mind if you want additional insurance like a personal liability policy like I carry, that's additional cost. So all of these factors add up, but again, this is not to discourage you about getting a German Shepherd, it's simply to tell you from my experience personally what it's like to own on 2 of these dogs. The fourth of the 6 factors I'm going to mention, factor 4 is training. Now, I may get into trouble for this, but you know, folks, I'm telling you, with large dogs, especially German Shepherds, we are not talking about Petco or PetSmart. You do need a trainer who is either an experienced German Shepherd trainer or who has trained large dogs. I mean, look at these canines, at the size of these canines in the photo. A German Shepherd has a bite force of 238 pounds per square inch, which can inflict some serious damage on you or even, God forbid, someone else. So a well-trained German Shepherd must know the basic commands along with being comfortable, and you're being comfortable on a leash and walking on an easy leash line. You know, it's one thing if you have a Yorkie or you have a Beagle or even a Poodle who pulls on a leash a bit. But it's quite another thing if you've got 75, 80 pounds on that leash and then all of a sudden, or more, and then let's say all of a sudden they see a squirrel or something else happens, like a kid whizzing by on a bicycle, and you could go flying and sustain a serious injury if you don't have the right leash, the right collar, the right harness, and the training. Now, when I walked my girls years ago, there was 180 pounds that I was controlling on that leash with these two arms. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, there you are. Okay, factor number 5 is exercise. Do you have the time and or the space for a German Shepherd? Now, I live in roughly a 3,000 square foot house, but more importantly, it's on a fenced half acre. And at this point in time, with all this cold weather and ice, I can tell you it's a blessing, because there are times when you just don't have the ability to take the dogs for a walk, especially with the ice and snow on the sidewalk. Now, if I didn't have the size yard I do, I can tell you quite honestly, I would have thought twice many years ago about having Shepherds. Because these dogs are herding breed dogs, and they need, and like any dog, they need exercise. And when they don't get exercise, they can get overweight, which is not good for their health or their joints, as we've talked about. And so when you think about your home and your surroundings, whether you or anyone else has the time to walk the dog. And by walking the dog, I mean basically we're talking about a mile, mile and a half, because it's not just in and out, 2 doors down the street for a little potty breaks. And then finally, the biggest factor, which I think is most important, the big factor of owning a German Shepherd is basically you. Now, German Shepherds are highly intelligent dogs, and as you probably have learned in my anecdote when I was telling you about little Zarina finding me on the 2nd floor, and because they're so intelligent, they sense, what am I sitting on you? I'm sorry. And because they're so intelligent, they sense immediately their owner's traits and their habits. So, say you're thinking about adopting a German Shepherd pup or an adult German Shepherd. Now, are you a type A personality, or at least a personality who is self-confident, you're outgoing, you take command, you have the ability to be stern or raise your voice when necessary to give orders or give guidance when the pup does something that you don't want it to do? And as the pup is growing into an adolescent, not put up with the BS, because that, as the dog grows into that adolescent, because a Shepherd will test you. If a Shepherd thinks that it has to take command and be the boss because he or she thinks you're unwilling or unable, which is roughly the same thing, you're going to have a problem, my friend. And if you can't tell already, I'm kind of a type A personality. I love my dogs. There isn't anything in the world I wouldn't do for them. But at the same time, I want my dogs to be good dogs. I want them to be well-behaved dogs. My pups, both my Shepherds and my Bostons, know I love them, because you can see my hands are always on them. I talk to them. And I know, and they know actually, that my bark is worse than my bite. They know not to push me around. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people who take Shepherd problem children to trainers to get them fixed because they're out of control. And I sit there and I kind of shake my head, because half of the people are scared to death of their dogs, and the other half never got the proper training to handle the dogs in the first place. And, you know, and again, you know, or even to carry through on some of the training. And especially these dogs who are so highly intelligent. So, bottom line, you think you want a German Shepherd? Well, think about it very carefully, because this dog, while it's a magnificent breed and maybe the right, you know, and maybe your dream dog, may not be the right dog for you and your family at this point in your life. So please remember my story about Nabucco, 4th owner in 7 months, because people were in over their heads and didn't know enough about the breed. Don't let this happen to you, and don't let this happen to the dog. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it if you stayed with me all this time. Please click on the subscribe button below so that you're notified when I upload additional videos. So, and also I'm going to leave a link to a video, like I do with all of my videos, to a video called The Gift. It's a fooler, it's a surprise. I'm not going to give you the spoiler alert. But if you are thinking of adopting a dog, please watch this video in its entirety. It's very brief, but it hits home. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Okay?
Yeah? Oh, you a good guy. Yeah, you a good guy. All of a sudden you came up and you just popped up. You did. Oh my goodness. Oh, 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 oh.
I love you all, love you all. Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, off camera.